Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Risings, chances are, as of you watching this video, you've been hitting your life with some form of major curveball, whether that is something that made you change your personal beliefs, a change in your career, change in relationships, or something else entirely. Life has suddenly gotten hard in a certain realm, and it's confusing as to why. But there is a reason for these unexpected curveballs and major changes, because as of today, as of recording this video, we are in eclipse season. The eclipse portal has been opened for the 2 eclipses coming in September of 2025. We can feel the effects now, and so understanding what these eclipses are doing for us and to us is majorly important, as we can feel the energies now and we can start to shift our realities now. So in today's video, Cancers, I want to dive into how eclipse season of fall of 2025 is going to affect you and how you can align with these eclipses to your benefit to live the life you're looking to live. Hello my Cancers, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Isabel, your spiritual rebel friend, and today we're talking about your eclipse fall of 2025 horoscope, which is mainly your September of 2025 horoscope, but additionally includes the time before September, the few weeks leading up to in August, September, and the few weeks that follow going into October, because really the eclipse portal and eclipse season is majorly and mainly the month in which the eclipses fall in, but additionally we can feel the effects of eclipse season in the weeks leading up to and the weeks that follow the actual lunations, as well as even people say the 6 months after. So we are entering a very major and important time for all signs, including you, Cancers, that is throwing major curveballs. And so in today's video specifically, I want to cover the lunar eclipse in Pisces happening on the 7th, the solar eclipse happening in Virgo on the 21st, other planets that are playing a role in these eclipses in particular, and advice for you, Cancers, to navigate these eclipses. Because like I said, we're being all thrown major curveballs unexpectedly out of nowhere. That is the overall consensus I'm already hearing from every single one of my clients and commenters on my channel right now, and even on my TikTok, is that life has gotten weird, and it's because of this eclipse season. And so if you've had something happen in your life, or if you just intuitively feel this sense of, I want to prepare for what's coming ahead because I know something's coming, then watch today's video. And if you just simply like astrology, watch today's video. And of course, final 2 notes. This video applies to you and will resonate for you if you have a Cancer Sun, Cancer Moon, and or Cancer Rising. And just again, this horoscope is just for your Cancer Sun, Moon, or Rising, but you have an entire unique birth chart that is going to change how these eclipses are going to affect you. And so if you want to dive into exactly what these eclipses are inviting you to do and how they are going to impact your life on all fronts, then I invite you to book a reading down in the description box below, where I give personalized guidance that you can also subscribe to for monthly, so to say, coaching. And it's meant to give you personalized guidance based off of what your unique desires are. So if you're looking for guidance, if you're looking for advice, if you want help understanding how you're going to be affected in this upcoming month, I invite you to book a one-time reading down in the description box below, and potentially even do ongoing coaching. Wanting to mention that really quick, just because I don't think many people know that I do ongoing coaching service, basically like a therapist, but in an astrological view. If you want someone who you can be sharing your thoughts with, bouncing your ideas off of, getting clarity with monthly, then I invite you to book a reading where we can discuss this more and set up ongoing coaching that is personalized to you in your unique needs. So book a reading, description box down below, the link is there, and hopefully I'll remember to put it in the card up above. You can book a half-hour session or a 1-hour session. And with that all out of the way, Cancers, let's dive into your fall eclipse season 2025 horoscope. Starting off with the first lunation, we will experience the lunar eclipse happening in Pisces on September 7th. The lunar eclipse will peak at specifically 15 degrees of the sign of Pisces. And like I always like to remind people when we're talking about eclipses, is that these are accentuated full and new moons. Specifically, in particular, I just have to close my computer because it's no help as to me right now. Lunar eclipses are accentuated full moons, and there are really 2 major themes that come up with every full moon that we experience. One is we are reaping reward Full moons are a time to receive. It's a time for us to have things come into our life, things that we have worked on for both 2 weeks and 6 months, to receive what we desire. Full moons are a time where the light is shown on the moon to have everything in its fullest blossoming phase. So it's a time to receive, for one. But additionally, full moons are a time to release and let go. The analogy that always I interpret in my head when I think of full moons is, imagine an actor or actress is caught off guard on a stage and the light is suddenly shown upon them. Kind of like in the movies where suddenly they're center stage, they're in the limelight, they're in the spotlight, and they need to perform. And this is their time to shine. But if they're holding their phone, if they're have like groceries in their hand, if there's anything with them that they don't want in the spotlight with them, they throw it off the stage. And so that's the kind of interpretation I usually picture when we're thinking about full moons. And when we can think about this full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces, is that there is an extreme spotlight being put on you in a certain area of your life so that you can receive destined, fated fulfillments, but also release what is no longer needed to take with you to this stage moment that is part of your soul's destiny. So simply put, in other terms, Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Risings, this lunar eclipse in Pisces is bringing fated endings and fulfillments to your life. Where, you may ask, exactly are you experiencing these fated endings and fulfillments? This has to do with your personal beliefs and ideologies, because as a Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising, this is your 9th house energy. So I invite you to look back to roughly February 27th of 2025, end of February, beginning of March. What were you intending, thinking about, and initiating in regards to your personal beliefs and travels? When I say personal beliefs, it could be any of the following: your astrology practice, the spiritual beliefs you hold, the things you study that are religious or spiritual, your diets that you personally stand by, even anything that is a belief that shapes how you view the world. What were you initiating in regards to this topic around end of February, beginning of March? That is when we had our new moon in Pisces. And this new moon in Pisces invited you to initiate some sort of new beginning in how you interact with your personal beliefs and ideologies, as well as your travels. To be honest with you guys for a minute, I frankly get annoyed having to interpret the 9th house, because there are two very essential themes that go on here that are very tied. There is physical exploration and mental exploration. Hence why we have a long list of words often associated with the 9th house, which is travel, publishings, faraway shores, foreign people, foreign places, and also personal beliefs, ideologies, religion, Buddhism, psychology, because there is two categories to this. And you could have things going on during this eclipse season in one or both of these categories, either travels, physical exploration, or personal beliefs and ideologies, mental exploration. But I want to remind you in the end that the 9th house has to do with exploration at its finest. The explorations that we do that give us a sense of, this is what I believe about life itself, and this is what brings me a meaningful life. This is about you discovering your life's meaning during this time, Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And so with this lunar eclipse happening in Pisces, whatever it was you initiated around end of February, beginning of March, is now coming to a head. It's coming to fruition. It's coming to closure. It's coming to the light, to the limelight, to the spotlight, to bring you a sense that life is meaningful. And whatever you've been putting your effort into for the last 6 months to cultivate that sense of strong personal beliefs, sense of exploration and open-mindedness, a sense of clarity on this is the meaning of life as a whole, that is coming to light with this full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces. This is going to be revelations, aha moments, and realizations regarding what you personally believe and stand by, the things you do and the places you explore, the religions and ideologies that you put into practice to give you a sense of meaning in life. And this is likely going to align you to a sense of trust, faith, surrender, and unconditional love, because this is the Piscean archetype that we're talking about in your regards, Cancer. Now, That is a general overview into the lunar eclipse. And I know already as of filming this that Cancers, your horoscope's going to be a lot longer than most. If that bothers you, please let me know down in the comments below, and I'll be sure to reframe my horoscopes in the future to make sure that they're just as short as the other signs. But if you prefer this longer, tangenty, intuitive calling that I am sharing with you that really makes sure that it's resonating with you guys, please let me know in the comments below down there in the comments below. Point being, not only is that lunar eclipse in Pisces bringing up these themes, there's some additional transits and points and planets that are playing a role on this lunar eclipse in particular that is adding to these themes. One of which is, simply put, that I want to start with. Jupiter in your sign, Cancers, is forming a trine/sextile to this lunar eclipse, which means that you are experiencing an expansion of who you are through the changes that are happening in your personal beliefs, travels, and exploration. Cancers, as of June 9th of 2025, you've been called to expand who you are and expand your independence. So I'd love to hear down in the comments below what ends up coming up for you. Simply put, with Jupiter in your sign involved with this lunation, you are likely going to be one of the top signs experiencing the most positive, easy benefits during this lunar eclipse. I say easy because everyone is experiencing positive transformation, but some may feel like there's more abrasion in the process, whereas some signs may feel like this is more of a breaking free of their shell. I think you're one of those signs that are feeling like you're breaking free from your shell with this lunar eclipse in Pisces. Now, not only is the lunar eclipse in Pisces have Jupiter involved, we also have the North and South Node conjunct this lunar eclipse. With the South Node and North Node conjunct this lunar eclipse, simply put, whatever is happening during this eclipse is aligning you to your highest self and highest purpose. Because overall, with the North and South Node in these signs, since January 11th of 2025, you're cultivating your exploration, Cancers, and letting go of what is familiar, especially in your familiar daily environment and familiar logical way of being. You're, what is the word I'm looking for? You're expanding your personal beliefs to give you a sense of more meaning in life rather than feeling like you're moving on autopilot, so to say, for life. You're assigning more meaning to life. And so that is really coming up for you with this lunar eclipse in Pisces. And finally, Saturn is retrograde back into the sign of Pisces as of September 1st of 2025. So it's at 29 degrees. Cancers, I recommend you look back to May of 2025. What kinds of structures were you establishing in your life in regards to your spiritual, personal beliefs and explorations? What were you doing that was set in stone? What were you doing that established structure in your life regarding structuring your personal beliefs and your mode of traveling? Were you setting up travel plans, or were you saying, okay, every Saturday I study this religion, every Sunday I go to church, every day I'm gonna meal prep for my personal diet, every day I'm gonna make time for meditation? What kind of structures were you establishing? Because you may now be revisiting these structures this month during these eclipses in order to see if there's any value in establishing those structures. And then on the other hand, there's one other interpretation for Saturn back retrograde in the sign of Pisces, is that maybe you're experiencing restriction, feelings of restriction regarding your personal beliefs. Maybe something is restricting you in these beliefs. And I would love to hear down in the comments below which of those two interpretations of Saturn retrograde in Pisces, once again, which resonated more for you? Is it that you feel like you're revisiting structures that you once established, or are you feeling a sense of restriction? This will help me know how to interpret Saturn in the future in future horoscopes. Cancers, the lunar eclipse in Pisces is just one half of the story. On September 1st of, I said the wrong date again. What is wrong with my words? September 21st of 2025, we are going to have a solar eclipse in the sign of Virgo at 29 degrees. And so new moon solar eclipses are accentuated new moons where we can experience new interactions, new people in our lives, new beginnings, new initiations, new intentions. But given that this is an eclipse as well, this is fated people, oftentimes fated places and fated opportunities coming into our lives to help you redefine your relationship, in particular, Cancers, with your daily network and digital content creation. Your digital and physical daily networks, better said. What are the people, places, and words that you communicate on a daily basis? This is really similar to the 6th house energy. I will interpret it pretty similar to the 6th house energy, but try to give it a differentiation just intuitively. Cancers, what are the people you share with on a daily basis? What are the words you share on a daily basis repeatedly? Where are the platforms you show up on a daily basis repeatedly? And how do you overall feel about those daily people, places, and networks that you interact with, so to say? You may be having some form of new initiation or intention here happening with the solar eclipse in Virgo. And so what's also insightful about this solar eclipse in Virgo is that it's a new beginning, but it's also at 29 degrees. And 29 degrees is the final degree we have of Virgo before we enter the energies of Libra. I almost said Leo, that would have been backwards, of Libra. And so with this being the final degree, there's this energy of finality to whatever intentions you set. This really can feel like you're breaking through barriers and becoming a new version of yourself in regards to your daily network, daily communication, content writings, and publishings. If I, for some reason, have Cancers out here who are publishing books, teaching content, some form of educator or writer or content creator, you are setting into motion something new here during this solar eclipse, and it's going to be fated, it's going to be destined. You're going to have the signs coming to you in regards to what you should be doing here. So if I say you're doing something here and you just draw a blank on what you should be doing, if you should be pushing harder to get something published, if you should be publishing more content, know that the signs are coming your way. Now, for my Cancers who are not in that industry of content creation, influencers, writing, this is about the daily network you surround yourself with in the town you live in. There's so many different topics. Once again, the 9th house, 3rd house axis could be a whole TED talk or workshop because, oh my God, there's so many different words associated with it. And I try to simplify this as much as possible, guys. But this could also be, for many Cancers out there, changing the town in which you live in. Not moving cross country, but realizing that the daily bubble of energy and people you surround yourself with is no longer suiting you. So Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Risings, you could be shifting what your daily bubble is because you realize how much it's playing a role on how you feel every day. And you're trying to create more space to feel a sense of what is the possibilities of life. Overall, Cancers, with this new moon solar eclipse happening on the 21st of the month and it opposing Saturn retrograde directly in Pisces, you may feel like you need to change, you're going to be called to, or you will have the sudden spark to change something physical in your physical reality, in the people you interact with, whether that's digital or physical, so that you can be of more selfless service and let go of the things that feel like restrict you in this means. So if you feel like you're hypercritical of the content you create and the things you write, you're letting that go and doing something new here. If you feel like you are surrounded by really small-minded people in your daily network, you're changing your daily network to be surrounded by more expansive people. You're doing something here physical, and I say physical because this is Virgo physical energy. I do recommend that my Cancers out there watching this video also check out my 2025 horoscope that I did at the beginning of the year, which is on my 2025 horoscope/forecast for all signs. You can find it on that playlist very easily on my channel, where I talk about this South Node in Virgo energy more. I do think it'd be very insightful for many Cancers out there because there's so many subtle storylines that could be playing out differently for different Cancers. This could be about content publishing. This could be about where you surround yourself with and how much you travel. This could be about the people you surround yourself with and how you communicate with them. This could be about trying to open yourself up to a feeling of life has possibilities. There's a few different storylines here, but nonetheless, Cancers, this solar eclipse in Virgo is bringing in a new beginning for you that aligns you to a sense of my life is stable but expansive in your daily network and how you move through life, and is something to greatly anticipate. So with that long horoscope in mind, what is my final piece of advice for you, Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Risings? Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Risings, this is about your relationship between feeling a sense of familiarity versus expansiveness in what the possibilities are of life. So ask yourself, at least this is what I recommend, Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Risings, during this 1 month period or 1 month plus period, is how much does my life feel rhythmic, routine, mundane, and like I'm living a program, versus how much does my life feel like expansive opportunity? How can I give myself a sense of stability and structure, and where does actually having that sense of routine, rhythmic, almost program-esque version of life valuable? Because we all need both. This is your reminder with this eclipse season, is that we need to have exploration, but we also need to have a network that we call home. And this also plays out mentally. We need to have mental exploration, saying, what are the possible things I could believe in? But also we need to have, okay, but this is what I know. I know the sky is blue. I know that cars drive. I know that birds chirp. There's a certain set of objective and subjective reality. You're being called to observe the difference and the relationship you have between your objective information in reality and subjective information in reality. So asking yourself, what are the beliefs and thoughts, ways of thinking that are objective versus subjective? Where do I have exploration versus structure and stability in my mindset? And how does this serve me? How could it be better? How could I improve it? But also, how do I have this physically? Where do I have a sense of exploration in my physical life, where I get out of my comfort zone and see what the world has to offer me, versus where do I have stability at a home to feel like, yeah, I have my network, I feel good about the people I'm surrounded by. In the end, this is about you finding a sense of meaning and yet a place in the world, Cancers. So really try to identify this relationship of what your ideal reality would look like in this means. Hopefully this makes sense for my Cancer sun, moon, and risings out there. If that is a complicated topic for you, which it very well may be, because you are asked to answer a very big question right now, Cancers, I invite you to book a reading down in the description box below, where I can help you understand in step-by-step guidance what you're being called to do and asked to contemplate during this time. We can do this in a half-hour reading or a 1-hour reading down in the description box below. If this all made perfect clarity and sense to you, Cancers, please share your thoughts down in the comments below. Share what insights you're having. Share what's coming up for you, what is going on in your life, and are you excited for the changes that are to come in your life with this eclipse season? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Stay tuned for more videos breaking down the stars and more. I thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, my name is Isabel, and from my heart to yours, namaste.